Guys, and welcome to Art with Amy. So I'm one of the facilitators at Hanger Farm Community Theatre, and I've been doing art with you guys during the strange time of lockdown. So basically, we've been doing The Wizard of Oz, and we've gotten to meeting some very interesting characters this week. We're starting off, of course, with the wonderful Scarecrow. So, yeah, we're going to be making our very own. How wonderful is that? So, yeah, we're going to be making a rag doll Scarecrow, which I'm so excited to do. It's so much fun, and yeah, I hope you like it. Okay, so to get started with our Scarecrow, which for this week we're going to be making a rag doll. But I know that's a bit tricky, and I know a lot of people don't know how to sew. So what I've decided is we're going to do a no-sew rag doll using socks. So if I get started, so what we need is a sock, or maybe two, depending on how big you want to do it. A pair of scissors, some stuffing of some kind. You can use like tissue paper or cotton wool. I've got some wadding here. I've got some felt as well to wrap around, and some string. So that's literally all you need. So I'm just going to start by rolling the wadding into a sort of circular shape, because this is going to form our Scarecrow's head. And that's really important to make sure it's round, because or else what's he going to do with his head? He'll just flop about all over the place. Well, it does anyway, doesn't it? Because he's a scarecrow. But yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. As you can see, that's not a perfect circular shape, but we will go with it. And then we're going to push it all the way down inside the sock. And it's very simple. And then there you go. Got a nice little head shape inside the sock. So what I'm doing is I'm just twisting it to keep it in place. And then I'll show you the next stage. So we're just going to take a length of string, twist that up, and then tie it around what is going to be his neck. A little bit fiddly, but we'll get there eventually. You know me and my hands. Rubbish with my fingers. How did I end up doing art, guys? I can't do anything with these hands. Yeah. So there we go. Nice little squidgy head. You can squidge it about a bit, make it a bit rounder or a bit longer, whatever you want to do. But there, I might push that string up a little bit just to make sure it holds it nice and tight. We want it fairly secure. So there we go. Yeah, so I think that's going to be my face side. Make a little nose later if you want. So we can cut off a bit of the string. Don't need all of that there. Keep it for later, because we are going to keep using it. Alright. So now we've got a very funny shape. What are we going to do next, guys? Right, scissors. We need to make his arms and his body. So, I don't know if this pen's going to show up on here, but we're going to cut across the sock. It's showing up a little bit. And down to make the legs. So there you go. So if we get snipping those, I will say now, do not use anyone's socks that you haven't got permission to use. Use your own, but check with your relatives or your carers or whoever else that you're allowed to actually use those socks, because we don't want you ruining some really nice socks. And look at that! Got an amazing body shape. Turn it sideways so you can see. That's simple. Don't worry, we're not done. It's not over yet. I will prep the next bit and I'll be back in a sec. Okay guys, so what I've done here, just done one arm to show you, but I'll show you how to do it properly with the other arm. So I've cut the arm into 3 pieces, keeping it attached at the top of the shoulder, and then I've plaited it down and tied a knot to give the illusion of fingers. Obviously he's not got enough fingers for this to be, you know, accurate, but this is only a rag doll, so it doesn't quite matter. But yeah, so if I show you how to cut it up. So we're going to open up the sock where we've cut it, lay it flat, and then using our pen again, don't know if you can see this very well, we can draw 2 lines, equal distance apart if possible, down the sock, and then cut them. Make sure you go all the way into the shoulder, but don't cut them off. Make sure they stay attached. And try not to cut any other part of him whilst you're doing this. Okay. So then, a bit fiddly again, but we're going to plait. So what you do with your plaiting, I'll show you if I can quite easily. Okay, so you take the right side, or the left, depending on which hand you want to use. One side over, into the middle, and then move it over. One side over, into the middle, and move it over. One side over, into the middle, move it over. And you keep doing that until it's all the way down. So if I quickly plait it so you can see it done. One thing with plaiting is it will make it shorter. So don't be surprised when you get to the end and you have slightly stumpy arms. That's absolutely fine. We are going to make him the right size afterwards. So there you go. I've done the little plait, just tying a knot in the end. And he's got a shortish arm, so I'm just pulling it out, which makes it a little bit more like the same length as the other one. So there you go. He's getting there, guys. Okay. Next stage is the legs. We're going to do the exact same thing with the legs on here. But as you can see, his arms have gotten a lot shorter and his legs are really long. So I'm going to cut them down and make his split between his legs a bit higher up and then get plaiting again. So I'll see you in a few minutes. I just wanted to show you this, guys, because I think this is brilliant, because at the moment he looks a bit like an octopus, doesn't he? So I thought that was really funny. But yeah, so we've got the 3 pieces for each leg. And as you can see, I've split the legs higher up, so it makes his body a bit more the right proportion. And so we're going to start plaiting. If I do one of them on camera so you can see again. Again, it's a bit fiddly, but it doesn't have to be perfect, so don't worry about that. Cool. And then remember, tie it off at the end. And there we have one leg. I'll do the other one and I'll get back to you. So there you go, guys. I've plaited his legs. I'm just going to trim off the excess because nobody's toes are that big. Well, not mine anyway. And there we go. Being careful not to snip yourselves or his legs. That would hurt. Right. And that is looking a bit like a body, isn't it? I'm quite pleased with this so far. Right. Next stage, we've got to dress him. Don't forget dressing them, because it would just be weird if you had a naked scarecrow, wouldn't it? They're not that scary then. Or maybe they're too scary. Maybe that's the problem. Okay, so for this, I've got some felt in a couple of colours. But you can use any fabric. If you've got another sock, that would be great in a different colour. Even if you've got some patterned ones, that'd be really cool. I couldn't get anything patterned, so that was a bit sad. But I've got colour, yay! So that's really good. So I will snip, and I'll show you what I'm doing in a minute. Right, guys, so what I've done is I've just cut the felt, or fabric if you've got it, into strips, because that'll make it really easy to wind it around parts of his body, because we're trying to build up what looks like ragged clothes. So it doesn't need to be well cut or anything like that, because he's a rag doll of a scarecrow. So it's not very important to look professional, is it? Okay, so we're gonna wrap it around, keeping it fairly tight. And you might need someone to help you with this, because in a minute, what we're going to do, or if you have magical glue, that will help too. So you can put a bit of glue on the back here to hold it down, which is what I'm going to do. And there you go, one of his trouser legs. But just to secure it in place, I get some string again. And again, don't worry about it. I'm literally wrapping it all the way around. Up and down, all the way around. And then tie it into a knot. And it doesn't have to be the same colour as the fabric either. As you can see, I'm using green string on brown felt, which I decided to do because I thought it would make it more interesting to have the contrast. Because if you think about scarecrows and all of that, they're like I said, they're not professional looking, are they? They're a bit raggedy, a little bit whatever, just thrown together. But yeah. And yeah, so that's that leg done. So I'll do the other one and then we'll get on with the body. Brilliant, guys. So we've got our legs covered. Next thing is to do the top of his trousers. So I've got a slightly shorter piece of fabric, which I'm just going to wrap around his lower half of his body, covering the top of the trousers. And once again, do the same thing, bit of glue and then a bit of string. So I'll just do that for you on camera. A little bit of glue going everywhere, that's fine. It's always a bit of fun, isn't it? Right. Then I'll grab a piece of string just to secure it. Ooh. Can never get my string, guys. Where's the end of the string? There we go. Right. Tying that round. Give him a nice waist. I know plenty of women that would kill for that kind of waist. Right, and tie it in the back. And make sure you do at least 2 knots, because otherwise it will come undone. Me and my hands, guys, can't use this string. There we go. Again, cutting off the excess. Don't worry if you leave a little bit, that's absolutely fine. There you go. He's nearly decent. Look at that. Right, so we're going to do the exact same thing with the arms and the top of the body. But this time I'm going to use a different colour. And I've made the strips slightly thinner because the arms are shorter and thinner. So yeah, let's get on with that. I really love this colour, guys. You won't know this, but mustard yellow, oh, I'm obsessed with it. I probably own, no, I do actually, I own a lot of mustard yellow things. I have curtains and all sorts in this colour. My room at home is very, very bright. Let's just put it that way. Right, so we've wrapped it round. Glue again. Ooh, without it flying across the room would be good. And get on with the string. But yeah, so we're getting there. So do both arms with the string as well, and then we will do the body, and then it's on to the head. So there you go. Got the sleeves on. He's got his trousers. I know we need to do the t-shirt part of the top, don't we? The actual vest. So what I've got here, another piece of fabric. Same size as the ones we used for the legs, but I've cut halfway down in the middle. And that is so we can slip it like this over his head. Really easy, she says, and pull it down the back. just like that. Cross them over at the back and wrap it around his waist. So then you've got this funny flap at the front, these two underneath, which we're going to glue down. So if we glue the bottom one first onto his waist, onto his belly, and then the second one onto that one. And then flap that one down. Ta-da! Now at this stage you can glue this part down if you want. I might do a little bit just here to keep it in place, but you don't have to. As you can see, it will stay there. But yeah, so that's the top bit done. What we're going to do now is again put more string around, keep it in place, and also just make it look uniform in a way. This is a bit of a long top, so I might cut it off a little bit. Otherwise it's a bit like he's wearing a caftan. Okay, so I'll grab some more string. Yeah, you're going to need a fair amount of string for this, just to pre-warn you again. And we're going to wrap it around a couple of times, just around his waist. And finish in the back. And tie at least a double knot. See if I can do it without fumbling my fingers this time. Nope, she can't. She can't do it without fumbling. Okay. Again, cutting off the excess. Yep, got. Oh, his string's come undone. See, that's what you get when you don't tie things properly. Well, it's held for now, so I'll put it back on in a minute. But yeah. So I'm liking this, guys. He's looking proper good. Let me put that string back on and I'll get back to you. There we go, guys. Right. Final step, if you want it to be, is we're just going to take a black marker pen or a different colour, doesn't matter, and try and draw in some eyes on the sock. And then a mouth. So it's going to not be that easy on the sock, isn't it? Oh, there we go. Nice and happy. He's a very nice chap, the Scarecrow, so we want him to be happy and smiling. And then if you think you can, just do a little nose. I know everyone's sort of scared of noses, aren't they? But see, it doesn't have to be that complicated. There we go. So, I know he looks a bit funny without anything on his head, doesn't he? Well, what you can do, there's various options. You can either get loads of string and wrap it round. But what I've done is I've taken a tiny little square of felt and another square of felt and wrapped it up and stuck it together just about. It's a little bit loose. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it on his head and tie it on with some string. And then we will have a look at the finished thing. Are we ready, guys? Are we ready for the grand reveal? I have to say, this is the most wonderful thing I think I've ever made. Here he is. Look at him in all his glory. So there you go. You've got a little hat on the top, which is being held on with glue and string. And you don't have to do that. You can do other things, whatever you feel like doing. And it doesn't have to be these colours. You can mix it up. But there you go. Got our little smiling Scarecrow. Isn't he gorgeous? So yeah, excellent stuff, guys. I'd really love to see if you can like get something. As proud as I am of this, I'm sure you will do something amazing. Please send us your pictures. I'd love to see what you come up with. Thank you. Okay, guys, that was brilliant fun. I'm so chuffed myself with what I managed to create. I'm sure whatever you create will be even better because you'll be able to put a lot more time and effort in. Yeah, that was fantastic. So send us your images, send us your videos, whatever you've got. We'd love to see it. Also, stay safe, keep alert, keep washing your hands. That's the main thing, isn't it? Just look after yourselves and I'll see you soon.